I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw this trailer in the theaters, it's not super impressed. I just got back from watching it. Turns out I was impressed. So, as stated, Transformers 1 is the new 2024 Transformers movie directed by Josh Cooley, starring Chris Hemsworth, Brian Tyree Henry, Scarlett Johansson, and Keegan-Michael Key. The movie primarily focuses on Megatron and Optimus Prime before they became, obviously, Megatron and Optimus Prime. And kind of as a disclaimer, even for the rest of the movie, just so you know, going into this movie, they don't go by the names of Megatron and Optimus Prime for like 95% of the movie. I think legitimately the last line of the movie is Optimus Prime saying that he's Optimus Prime. So don't go into this movie thinking, oh, we're getting, Optimus Prime and Megatron movie. It's not going to happen. I think, honestly, this movie's biggest takeaway is also probably one of the things that surprises people the most. If you're like me and you grew up watching the Michael Bay movies, early on, there was just explosions and cars and women and stuff like that. This movie is literally as far as away from that as you can possibly get. Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime and Brian Tyree Henry as Megatron put so much heart and soul into these characters that really, really surprised me. And I really enjoyed it. It was cool seeing these characters from a different perspective that wasn't just, guns blazing, boom, boom, boom type shooting thing. But it was actually, there was a friendship between them. And it's an origin story about, how they were just, old like miners, digging, as a lowly Autobots, to the point where, they all became primes and they rose to obviously the position that we're very, very familiar with them in the rest of the movies. I think in a world of where we're making sequels and prequels and all these new movies of old IPs, and they're taking it, and honestly, in my opinion, not making, good remakes of it, I was so happy sitting in my theater, watching this movie and seeing just the pure joy that everyone else around me seemed to have watching it, but also myself. Like, I had a smile on my face. And again, like I said earlier, when I first saw the trailer for this movie, I kind of thought it was going to be doo-doo. Like, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't excited about the proposition of an animated Transformers movie. I thought that they were just going to honestly just mess up the characters and it was just going to be, one big slog fest. And I think it would also be a crime to not point out the art style in this movie. It is fantastic. It is both odes to the old Transformers show that a lot of people grew up watching, but also I feel like there are hints and stuff in it too, where you're getting to see some of the aspects of maybe even the live action ones and some of the details and designs of the characters. I think it was the perfect blend for especially, young kids being able to come in and watch these movies, but then adults and, people who, again, grew up watching the older shows and movies are able to come and sit in and really enjoy this movie as well. However, I do have to point out, though, it is, like I said, an origin story, of how Megatron and Optimus Prime got their powers and such. So you are inevitably going to fall into the, kind of the cliches and the traps and stuff of any other origin story. You're going to have the same sort of story loops. You're going to have maybe a little twists and stuff that you've seen in other movies. It's nothing surprising. Honestly, you can kind of smell it coming from a mile away. But again, the movie is good enough that you can kind of just ignore it for the large part. Ultimately, Transformers 1, in my opinion, is probably one of the best Transformers movies ever made. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it hits on every single note. It's a movie that both adults and parents, grandparents can bring their kids to, and everyone's going to enjoy it, right? There's good comedy for both sides. Both sides of people are gonna laugh and stuff like that. And I think, like I said, the voice acting is great. There's a good story. Yes, it does fall into some of those cliches and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's a great movie. No one's really going to care about some of the cliches. So I am going to give it a 4 out of 5. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoy this movie. It's not going to be for everyone, right? If you're a huge fan of the old Michael Bay movies, like I said, the explosions, everything like that, probably not going to be as much on your radar. But for anyone out there who, has young kids and stuff and wants to go see a good quality movie in the theater without any sort of, parental issues and stuff that you might be worried for your kids seeing, it's a great watch. So, Transformers 1, you're going to watch it? You're going to think you're going to pass on it? Let me know down below in the comments if you've seen Transformers 1, and also what is your favorite Transformers movie and why. So, as always, feel free to like and subscribe, and also put down in the comment section what movies you want me to do sort of these video reviews in the future. Like I said, this is the first one I've ever recorded, so I'm definitely interested in doing more in the future. And like I said, let me know down there. All right, until next time, see ya.